How's everyone doing tonight?
Good.
Good,
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
Not
doing
bad.
Forward to
well.
another cold one.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. No,
yeah. Well, I want to welcome everybody to the Couch Co-op Show. I'm Ian, and I'm joined by Jared, Dave, and Aaron, as always.
no.
Hello.
Hello.
And we are the Couch Co-op. We are a beer podcast show thing that exists on the internet for you to listen to. You can find us on iTunes, Spotify, and a bunch of other platforms, YouTube, all around the internet. Search for beer, hop, co-op. I don't know.
Right. Food.
And tonight it's my turn to pick. Yay! And I went with Coors Banquet.
Cheers.
You'll notice that everyone has stubby bottles because I bought everyone stubby bottles, but I drank my stubby bottle.
I kind of figured that was probably what went on.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I have, a,
So-
I have a special crate where I put the beer.
So maybe not everybody understands what Coors Banquet is. It's just original Coors.
Well,
It's
kind
just
of. It's an offshoot
Coors
of the
Banquet.
original. I believe it's a slightly different, but it's the original. But then they
Yeah, I
rebranded
noticed
it.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
it's just a new
This is the
rebranding. Yeah, but same thing.
1936 stubby bottle is what it says on it.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
the stubby bottle. But I was reading somewhere that it's where was that?
Well, can we open it and then you can
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
about
yeah. Here's pop it.
All right.
it? Ah,
And 3, 2, 1, pop.
Too late.
bottle
That's a
of
twist
crap.
top.
I guess you guys don't have the story on the can, so I'll read it from the can here.
Yep.
Unwavering dedication to quality has made Coors Banquet the coveted lager for more than 140 years. We're fiercely committed to our brewing tradition using high country barley grown in the foothills of the Rockies to create our unique taste. That's all it says. I was looking at the ingredients here.
Yeah.
That's an interesting list of ingredients.
Rocky Mountain water.
So ingredients list: water, barley malt, corn syrup with an asterisk, and it says corn syrup is used as part of the brewing process. Coors Banquet never uses high fructose corn syrup. Yeast, and then hop extract. So I guess they squeeze some juice instead of actually using hops. I guess. I guess that's what that means.
They do something to the hops to extract the hoppy goodness.
Huh.
Well, I think because they use a mixture of hops, and I would imagine to try and keep the beer tasting the same all the time. There's somehow they're trying to keep the extract levels of the taste similar across, and so when the machine injects, I don't know. I imagine it's not very hands-on.
No. I
When
mean,
it's-
this
No,
is
not
a
when you're brewing
monster of a
it
brewery.
by the swimming pool load.
Yeah.
I mean, Coors has like the world's largest brewery in Colorado, so
Yeah.
supposedly, so they must just make vats of this shit. So
Oh yeah. No, it's a beast.
That's really, really quite tasty. I'm really actually enjoying this.
Yeah, it's as good as I remember. This stuff is really, really good. I like it way better than Coors Light.
Yeah. I agree with that. It's definitely more thirst quenching than its
well, I
Coors
mean,
Light cousin. Good.
regular Coke tastes better than Diet Coke, guys. Come
Yeah,
on. I mean,
But I think
True.
it just has a nice, rich, kind of sweet flavor, and it's just really satisfying.
Isn't it
Corn
Coors
syrup has finest.
Banquet they were running in Smokey and the Bandit?
yes.
I'm really enjoying this. It reminds
You could-
so
It's
What?
not pasteurized, so you had to keep it refrigerated to take it to some other states.
yeah.
I remember hearing stories when I was a beer salesman, and like, oh, I remember Coors back when I had to go to like the California border or some crap to get it, because it was not pasteurized, that people couldn't buy it in Oregon.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember my father-in-law and like the guy I go hunting with. They said they used to go, if you went out of state, that was one of the things you did. You brought a trunk of beer back with you,
Yes.
Yeah.
and
So
you could pay for the gas, basically.
So Coors Banquet is modeled after the original Coors recipe, but it's different than the original or the way old original version. So it's a version of the original, but it's not actually the original.
Right. I'm glad because I don't know what the other one was like, but I don't want.
Well, I don't think they've ever made it. It's always been Coors Banquet, so I think it's just
Mm.
considered the original Coors.
Right. Like it's like a modified version of the original idea. Yeah.
I imagine it's because it doesn't have corn syrup in it, partially.
Yeah, yeah. That's the one thing I think it's they've it's mass produced, so when you're producing this much of it, you can save a lot of money by not cutting corners, but
Right.
you know.
Who knows what they
Right.
used to use for sweetness, if it was actually sugar or honey or something.
Could have been rice, you know.
Oh, it could be rice, because Budweiser still uses rice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Budweiser is kind of famous for that, so maybe they wanted to separate. It is a very good beer.
It's very good.
It's funny, beers like this that have been around forever, they kind of just get a bad rap.
Mm-hmm.
You know, especially with craft brewing and just everyone else trying to make lagers and stuff. That these old kind of diehard beers. Oh, you drink that? Ooh, they're like snooty
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah,
Honestly-
but even then, go ahead, Aaron.
Honestly, as people like all of us drink craft beer and stuff like that, it's overall I feel like it's actually very nice to go back to like the mass-produced beer every once in a moon, like the Budweisers, the Coors, the Miller High Life, and stuff like that. I think it's a great idea once in a while to do it because you do get craft beer burnout once in a while.
For sure, for sure.
It's like, ugh, okay, I'm tired of all these like high-end beers. I just want to reset my taste buds and go for something like this or like Rainier or Budweiser or something like that. It's kind of nice to go back to the basics once in a blue moon. Gives you a refresh.
And then on that kind of same note, we've had this crazy heat wave in the Pacific
Oh, yeah.
Northwest recently. Sometimes it's just nice to have a light, tasty beer that's a little more refreshing and not like trying to kill you at every
Yeah,
turn.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and their premium beers are what they call these, and the price isn't that much cheaper than a micro. So I think a lot of people just kind of stray away from it because micros aren't that much more, and there's a very wide variety of it. So I don't know. I'm sure that all these premium beers like Coors and Bud are still crazy popular, but nowhere near as popular as they were back in the day when it was just like Widmer and maybe like Red Hook and Deschutes.
Mm-hmm.
But nowadays, I'm sure micros are just really, really stomping on them.
I don't think
Pretty
so.
hardcore.
Actually, if you also, I think the funny thing, not so much I haven't noticed with Coors, but like with Bud Light and Budweiser, that pop culture, there's been some musicians like Post Malone's huge into Bud Light, and then there was some kind of thing with a musician, I can't remember, or artist / musician that Trent, like Nine Inch Nails just posted something about her, but she did this whole thing with like Budweiser. Actual Budweiser. I mean, so like some of these beers kind of seep into like pulp culture, and then they get big out of that, as opposed to these microbrews.
The other one that does that is like PBR.
Oh,
That's
for sure,
always in, like,
for sure.
they seem to have that down.
Yeah, they have really good marketing teams and a lot of money to throw around.
You
He's
got
always
it.
drinking this in Cobra Kai, isn't he, as well?
I also feel like the problem, it's not a problem. Like I think we talked in the last episode how massive, like when like we went to the John's Market with Dave, you walk in there and just how many microbrewery beers there are now. Like they're like
Overload.
they're what do they call that? Where they take the sales away from each other?
They cannibalize
You
each other's.
cannibalize each other. And so beers
Yeah.
like this are always going to be successful because there's people in Middle America that have no idea what a microbrew is,
Exactly. Well, yeah, that's a point I was going to actually get into because you can have 50,000 different types of breweries like we see at John's Market, but take all those, and they're like a small fraction of what stuff like Coors, Budweiser, stuff like that. They're just going to stomp them because everybody knows those ones. Versus, you can go to the Midwest and talk about Mountain Times. Like, what the fuck is that to them? What about Coors? Oh, give me some of that. That's what's going to happen. It's all about brand recognition,
The
like you just
McDonald's
said.
of beers.
But here's the other thing: if it was a shitty tasting beer,
Right.
it wouldn't have survived that long. Really,
It would have
ultimately,
died.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, there is something to be said for it surviving a long time, and it is nice and refreshing, and you could drink quite a lot of them. There is something about getting a picture of like American lager at the bar that's
somehow American.
nice. It's just nice, you know. Been a while since I had a picture of beer actually with the
Oh
virus. And
God,
everything.
yes.
Right?
Plus,
Yeah.
you don't
Holy
drink
crap.
a pitcher by yourself because usually it's 4 pints worth, and it's like if you're by yourself, you got to drive anyway.
Right.
Well, I don't think you can buy a pitcher if you're there alone. Well, they have to give you multiple glasses. It's like a law.
Depends on-
They actually
depends on
have
the
to give
bar you
you
go to.
more than one glass. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because I remember you used to be able to go into like back when Cinetopia existed. When it first started, you could buy a pitcher by yourself. Well, you could get away with having 2 people, even though the other person was not drinking it. So I could get a pitcher to
Right.
myself. But if I was the only one drinking beer and Bryn was drinking wine, they would ask if she was drinking beer, and then they would say, "I'm sorry, you can't." And I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
I got in trouble
Fair.
at a bar once for drinking out of the pitcher.
Oh jeez.
"Shit, I think I don't know if Dave was there. There was that one time we did like a birthday karaoke at Suki's. Some of you guys might have been there. I don't remember. Anyway, it was late in the night, and this one table left, and they had like
I remember.
1 or 2 like pitchers left, and Gabe's like, "Just go get them." So we just grabbed their pitchers, and they were like more than half full.
Yeah,
Oh my
awesome.
God.
It was like Coors Light or some shit. And anyway, you
Eh,
wouldn't do that today.
surprised
Let me
about
tell
that.
you, in the pandemic, you wouldn't be doing that shit.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Nope. Yeah, that's funny.
There's no way in hell you get away with that stuff now.
Anyway, I've been drinking a lot of this lately, so I actually really enjoy it.
Right.
I've never.
Refreshing.
It's a little more spendy generally. It's been on sale. I think that's why I've been getting it.
It's refreshing. It's good hot weather beer. It's refreshing.
It is.
It's not. It's got
Well,
a nice
you-
crisp flavor to it. It's
Yeah. And
It's
Ian,
nice.
you used to buy a ton of Budweiser, and that's like the one that's in parity with it.
And I
mean,
still
yeah.
do. I still like Budweiser more than this because I like the flavor. It's a little bit more, but I mean, this is still a really strong, solid beer. It's not like it's a bad beer in any way. I see
No,
why
not at
it's
all.
kind of its competitor.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see that. It's got that kind of smooth, velvety kind of mouthfeel. You get the bubbles, and then you get that kind of like soft feeling in the mouth.
It's
Quite nice.
generally, this is a bit more expensive than Budweiser, or Budweiser is like always on sale, and this is not always on sale. And so I've just gotten, but I like the taste of Budweiser more, but that doesn't detract from the actual flavor of this beer.
No.
This is a really, I like this one.
Which these days isn't Coors owned by Molson?
Well, they're kind of shared.
It's
It's
Yeah, I
cold.
think they.
Molson,
Miller,
Miller,
Coors hybrid.
Coors.
no
Yeah,
Miller
Molson.
got swallowed up within them, so it's just Molson
That's
Coors
right.
now.
Yeah, that's right. I
Yeah.
forget.
I
So,
think
one
because
thing I
it
will-
wasn't it was Coors Miller, right? So
Yes.
Coors,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then Molson moved in, and the Miller name
Swallowable,
disappeared,
yeah.
but they still own Miller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will
yeah,
say
you can
one
still
thing
buy
about
their
this.
products.
I like what they're doing with their throwback to the older ones, because all you ever see when it comes to like bottles or whatever is like the long neck bottles and stuff like that. I just like the fact that the little short stubby bottles are out there, but also like the laser etching around the laser etching, but the
Yeah, the logo.
designs. And yeah, and I just like the fact they're trying to actually like do something different. Like only few companies now have the short little stubby bottles. Everybody goes to long necks or cans, which I like
You like
cans.
stubbies.
Yeah,
Stubbies are fine. They're cute. I prefer the long neck.
yeah. I
Like I'm holding a, I want to be holding a long cock, not a stubby soup can,
So the interesting thing I just noticed, the Adolf Coors Company from Golden, Colorado, the founder of Budweiser was Adolphus Busch.
Huh.
Oh, the name parody,
That's right. Yeah.
Adolphus and Adolf. It's kind of funny.
That's why it's a lager, isn't it? Because they came over and brewed the German styles.
Right.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Well, thank goodness they did this. That's
Well,
for
they were
sure.
talking about this doesn't really have to do with Coors Original or Coors Banquet, but during the Prohibition time, when they had to like dump barrels of their beer and they couldn't sell it anymore, they moved
Dark
into
time.
like malted milk and other things for like candy and stuff. So they were doing they have like
Huh.
they have these like pictures of like the old timey like Coors malted milk.
I kind of wish some of these companies that were around back then would re-release some of that old stuff from Prohibition. I think that'd be really cool line of stuff.
Have a line of malted milk for candy shops.
Yeah, maybe it was really good. I mean,
I
they
don't
made
know.
it, and I mean,
They
they're
also
trying
did-
to make money.
They also did porcelain. Yeah, he got into porcelain. So malted milk, porcelain, and porcelain. Sorry, all kinds of weird shit. It's interesting.
Yeah.
And they did the malted
that's
milk
cool.
thing for a while until 1933. So a little bit after it was a little successful. Anyway,
Can you even buy anything like that anymore? Malted milk? Like, what is that? What do
Doesn't
they call
sound
that now?
appealing.
I've had it,
Yeah.
and I can't think what it would be.
Whoppers have malted milk in the
Yeah.
center, right? But that's like a
Yeah,
candy
yeah.
itself. I don't really
And
know.
you used to get like I think Horlicks in the UK. I'm not sure what the equivalent is over here, but I think that was a malted barley drink. Like
Interesting.
milk barley drink.
Yeah, they probably used a lot of the ingredients they already had laying around because they didn't want that to go to waste.
Yeah,
so,
but it wasn't like
Right.
it was sold to the public. It was sold to companies. So like Coors sold much of its malted milk to the Mars Candy Company for production of candy,
yes.
not for people to eat, but for candy companies to use.
Okay.
So-
Dude,
Interesting.
So they were
that's
making
fucking
raw
silly.
ingredients.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, how can we flip
Okay.
this shit?
Yeah.
You've got all this crap. We need to get rid of it.
Okay.
Right.
Just switched into a factory of things that were needed, pretty much.
Yeah. Anyway, it's kind of cool.
Okay.
It's kind of cool
Yeah.
history, you know.
Yeah, that is cool history.
Yeah.
That'd be a fun documentary to watch.
Anyway,
Maybe there is one.
what do you guys want to rate this beer?
Alright.
Thumbs up.
I'm gonna give it a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Why not? Dave's gonna give it a little side
Really
thumb.
give it a side,
Okay.
yeah.
Right?
I think it's a
Yeah.
strong beer. I like
It's
it.
a very
I thought
strong beer. But it's
Legit. Yeah.
Dave will never buy it. He'll never drink it again.
Not, I probably
I have
will.
I have another
when we do
6-pack.
video game night again, I'll I'll probably get some.
Cool.
I guess I gotta think of a video game.
No video games take place in Colorado, but there is a game you get to drive through Colorado, right?
Banquet. Hey, Banquet. We're gonna go with Overcooked.
Ah,
You can drink.
Like
You
it's
can
gotta
you
work
can
there.
drink it, and you can make food for people, and hopefully you won't get super drunk drinking a bunch of it. Because it's a good party game. This is a good party beer. Co-op
Hell yeah,
party
absolutely.
action. So I'm gonna go with Overcooked. There you go. There's my
Yeah.
game recommendation.
fun.
All right.
Next week I believe it's Jared's turn.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm.
Man.
I gave you guys cans of Blue Moon Belgian White.
I've never had it in a can. I've only had it in bottle.
Yeah, same here.
Yes.
But they
can.
they have a 15-pack of it, so I mean it's still popular. It's kicking.
Oh yeah, Blue
Yeah.
Moon's been around.
Yeah.
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 I remember when I first saw that, I was living in Baltimore. It was probably like 2001, 2002. I'm not sure when if that's when it first came out or whether it was,
That sounds about right. I remember going to the bar and having it with a wedge of orange,
Yes.
but I haven't tried
Yeah.
it since with orange in it.
It was
so
the
maybe-
new hef.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, they're both wheat beers. It's the same beer with a different fruit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember in Seattle that was like 2000. And it's like 8.99 2000, and the guys would always order hef with the lime in the pitcher. And then after I graduated,
Hef with lime.
yeah, you put lime in a hef.
Lemon, right?
Or
I've
lemon.
never heard of
lemon.
lime.
I'm sorry, lemon. You're right.
Okay, I mean,
Yeah,
it
I was
My
could
gonna
be
bad.
say,
okay.
I've
I
never
don't
heard
know.
of
I'm sorry.
lime.
I'm
I
sorry.
bet that'd be
I'm
pretty
sorry.
good.
I'm sorry. Lemon. And then
You should be sorry.
sorry. Well, I didn't like hef and lemon, and I didn't like that, so that's why I'm dismissing
That's
it.
fair. Yeah.
Dismissing it
get it.
awfully. Anyway, so when I remember when I graduated and moved back here, and then the girls would always order the Blue Moons with the orange, and so it's just a girl beer to me. So it's always
The
been.
last time I had that, it came really bad. stuffy
Dave's.
nose.
What is Dave drinking?
Ooh. What is this, Dave?
Live hard liquor.
Oh,
Blend
blend
Live
lemon.
hard liquor. I was
Well,
right.
yeah.
Ugh.
Balvenie.
Oh, and that's to a pint.
Dave's getting drunk tonight.
Yeah, he
buddy.
is.
Anyway,
Rough
so Jared's rocking the Blue Moon next week. Are we gonna do that with orange? Oh,
If you want.
He's doing a whiskey now.
Yep, Woodford Reserve.
Did you watch that Hoopty X video, Dave?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty cool.
The school. I showed my daughter the school bus. She thought that was really cool.
There's some interesting cars on there.
YouTube.com/milkman pictures.
No. The Hoopty X one is like the official Hoopty X video that
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. The official.
that Bill's in.
Ooh.
It's pretty cool that he made
Yeah.
the cut. Anyway,
Nice.
That's
anyway.
a Gambler 500 reference for the uninformed.
Neither here nor there. But I just was curious if David's seen it. All right, we can get out of here now. There's nothing else we need to talk about. Jared's beers next, and yeah, okay, everyone. Hey, we are the Couch Co-op. You can find us on all your podcasting platforms. You can find us on Twitter at couch_hop. You leave us comments. No one does. We're a tiny new podcast that no one seems. I mean, like there's a handful of people, but it's not like. Maybe I
It's
need
fine.
to
This
promote
is
it.
like
Slow process.
social half hour with my
Yeah,
buddies.
just get
That's,
drunk for a
that's
half
all right.
hour.
Yep.
Anyway, I want to thank my buddies Jared, Dave, and Ian.
Cheers.
Jared,
Yourself?
Dave, Jared, Dave, and Aaron, and Ian,
Yes.
and myself again.
Ian is his own best friend.
I am my own best
Yep.
friend.
Yeah.
For being on the Couch Co-op. You guys take care, and everyone enjoy beers. And hey, hey, by the way, if you want to message us and recommend a beer, go ahead and do that, and we'll drink your beer in your name.
Yep.
We'll mention you on the show, so do that. And anyway, until next time, drink responsibly.
Have fun.
Yeah.
Yep.